𝗕𝗵𝘃𝗃 is finally ready, ready to be shared with the world. It's definitely just more than an album for me, you know. It's been something that's been on my mind to work on for a long time. It's about experimenting and taking something traditional and mixing it with something new.
Yeah.
And that was the brief from the start, to present something really unique.
Yeah.
In the devotional space.
Yeah, and I felt working with you, I had an idea because I've been working with you for so many years, and for me to work on it, it was just a bit more easier because we've been like family for so many years, like, you know, for years and years.
Yeah,
you know, I've known you, working on and off with you, knowing about your Keep Bhajans Alive project as well, you know, during lockdown as well. And you get an idea for your stylistic approach and stuff. So I think the flow was a lot easier than I thought.
And how did you find it with that vision and that brief? Like, how did you?
So obviously you've got experience in releasing music out there as well. It's not like it's your first album or anything like that. You had Roots and Changes out a few years ago, so you know, one listens to this music even when it was released and stuff like that. So you get an idea of a pattern of what kind of compositions, production you'd want on the album.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people focusing on devotional music in the way of presenting it in this style. You were involved with Roots and Changes Live, the tour. We did 5 shows across the UK.
Amazing, yeah.
And now this project. So with that vision in mind, how did you approach translating my vision and the brief, I guess, into bringing it into life?
Again, listening to your previous work, the composition, first thing was the compositions, the tunes. Now, normally when I write or compose for something, I will revisit tunes I've done for the last 30 years, maybe. I have a bank of songs. For this particular project, I didn't do that. I felt you had a certain unique voice, a certain power, and I just wanted to compose something fresh within that parameter for you.
And traditionally, when you work on songs, you maybe write the lyrics first. That's more common, right?
That's easier.
And then you compose. It's easier. But this way, we've worked the other way around. So how was working on the lyrics?
You know,
after
I've been collaborating with Kaykay for a while now. You know, we've done a few projects together before. So we have, I think, a kind of a chemistry of working together. And we've come up, we have a process which works somehow. And we started doing devotional music during the pandemic with Mind and Soul. It's not something which comes naturally to me, actually, to do devotional songs. So that was great to get introduced to that side of the music. And I'm really into it now. I really like the process. I like the experience of, you know, kind of accessing the spiritual side of the mind. And this project, the idea you had, the vision you had, you know, how Kaykay shared it with me, I thought it's really exciting. So together, when we sat down to do the first song, you know, we do it on Zooms. You know, we may not be able to meet face to face all the time, right? So it just flowed. He played the tune, you know, and we went 1, 2, 3, 4, and we were. So the first words just started flowing. I think it was such a smooth process, actually, I think, for us to develop these songs. Yes.
One of the things I wanted 𝗕𝗵𝘃 to be about was about themes. So you know, forgiveness, gratitude. So it wasn't to one specific deity or God or Bhagwan. So how did you find that process of writing?
Well,
the
lyrics? that was challenging. I must admit.
You
know, because we of course wanted to keep it as generic as possible, as universal as possible. At the same time, you know, want to address the higher power God, right? So in most songs, if I can say that we have achieved that. Now it's for the listeners to comment, but I think we managed to achieve that in most songs. It was a challenge, but it was a good challenge. The themes kind of helped imagine within the context of that idea, right? So I'm very pleased with the output. The outcome. I have my favorites in there. All 7 songs are great, but I do have 1 or 2 of my favorites there, definitely.
We'll come back to that. Coming back to you, Kaykay. So one of the key things in the brief was a new, fresh sound, but keeping that devotion and that heritage and the traditional feel there. And when you listen to 𝗕𝗵𝘃 from track 1 all the way to 7, there's some amazing soundscapes across all the 7 tracks. How did you pick using those? And
so there's 2 ways looking at it. There's production, and there's melody, and there's obviously maybe three things, and words. So obviously the words are devotional, so that keeps the tradition. You know, those words you've heard in other songs as well. It's traditional words, devotional words, as I say. Yeah. Okay. The tune itself, I would say it wasn't over westernized or anything. It was very traditional when I composed it, using rags. 𝗕𝗵𝘃𝗶𝘸 and certain rags. So that gives the Indianness. The production, and that's where you can start changing things slightly, experimenting with using more Western instruments, guitars, piano, you know, drum, congos even, you know, and synth sort of sounds, because I come from more of an electronic music background. So I started experimenting with certain electronic overtones with things, and that gives that sort of new fusion freshness, more of a westerny sort of sound. But at the same time, the lyrics and the tune itself, if you're humming the tune, it would sound very Indian. It would sound a bit more traditional, I feel.
And did my voice or my vocal tone or style have an impact on the production choices?
Absolutely, because like I said, I've been listening to your music for a while, your previous albums, and you get an idea. Bhavik has this certain style of singing, and the compositions were more tailored to your voice range and certain little things I put in there. They were for your voice. Certain challenges as well, I thought. If Bhavik sang this, for instance, in Unity, one of the songs, Divine Unity, in the verse, you know, there's a part which is very difficult. But I always felt that would be a challenge for him.
It was.
And Bhavik's never done that. And it will just, people be like, wow, what happened there, sort of thing. So I wanted to maybe push your voice into some challenging
It was a challenge.
areas.
I appreciate the challenge because we got it and it sounds amazing. But
great.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, absolutely it does. The sounds are just amazing.
What makes 𝗕𝗵𝘃𝗶 so special, I think, is it's not just music. It takes the listener on a journey. It's a conversation with whoever's listening to it. Did you draw any inspiration from anywhere when you were writing or working on these songs?
Yes, like I said before, you know, devotional music is something new to me. You know, involving in devotional music. Growing up, of course, you listen to different devotional songs, etc. So now that I've got involved with devotional music, it has been really an enriching experience for me. And this album in particular, you know, the fact that you had charted out a storyline. It's like going on a pilgrimage. You know, that's how with each song you feel, right? Okay, you're on a pilgrimage. And like, for example, the New Beginnings, you know, I think we all have a personal connection to that song. For me, I just moved to a new house, you know, so it was really, when we wrote the song, so it was really very personal. And again, each of the songs connects to something from your life. So I think it's been profound. It's been enriching. It's been a great experience altogether.
Amazing. And how did you create a sense of flow? You know, as you were working on all the projects, obviously, we did 7 songs. We worked on them in a different order to how they're going to be shared with the world. Yeah. But how did you create a sense of flow and cohesion throughout the whole album?
In terms of cohesion, like I said, the songs were specially written, so they weren't like previous projects we collaborated, where I have a bank of tunes. This is the first time I've not used my previous bank of hundreds and hundreds of tunes. I've just completely done something fresh, you know. So the cohesion obviously was there, and that, I think, starting a song off, I may leave it, I might start on a second song, third song. So I had 2 or 3 songs on the go at the same time, sort of thing. You know, I'd leave one, come back to work on this. So that just flowed for me better, I felt. You know.
And the tunes were so great. Like, you know, what happens to me when I sit down to write, when we sit together, you know, I just follow the tune. The tune is the inspiration, right? You have the idea, and the words just connect to the tune so well. So that's been the magic with a lot of the songs, when we went through the process. And the song was done in one sitting, right? Most of the songs were done in one sitting.
I think within an hour,
Yeah.
we'd be obviously on, like I said, Zoom or WhatsApp video or FaceTime or whatever, and we'd have this sort of time, and we'd make sure we'd have an hour. Normally in an hour,
Yes.
we get a lot of work done, and if it's not, then we will come back.
Pause,
and a week later we'll probably meet on. Another thing,
perfect,
obviously, we want to share when you're a tunesmith. That's what it was. Although I've done the production, but the first thing was the tunes. When you're with a lyric writer, you got to sit with a lyric writer. You've got to go through so many changes. There were a lot of words you'd written down, scrub them off on the iPad, rewrite.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was paper, obviously we're using the iPad or whatever, the computer, we'd be going through so many sheets because there's so many rejected words as well. It wasn't fitting or we'd start again. There was a lot of that, wasn't there?
Kaykay is very particular on the fitting the words exactly. That gives a very interesting challenge, extra challenge, right?
Yeah.
Because I might just try to say, why don't you sing it slightly differently? He's like, no, it doesn't fit the tone. Then I go back to how do we approach it differently? Because you have to keep the idea, you have to get the right words, and it has to be easy to sing as well. And the other thing is how you will find it, right?
Absolutely,
with your vision. So whenever we have that feedback, I look forward to hearing from you or Kaykay, how you found the song. So it's always great to see that it's resonating with all three of us, right?
Yeah. To be honest, I don't think I had lots of feedback because I think you captured the themes and the story so beautifully.
Yeah. Initially, the themes you said are compassion, beginnings, and gratitude, and there was a multi-faith thing as well. So what we did is the first thing we did for the subjects and the tunes we wrote, and we arrowed everything. If you remember, this subject for this tune, this subject for that tune, and that's how that sort of started.
Yeah. What was your favorite?
Alasha.
Divine Unity.
Divine Unity.
That song, it has a very profound, deep thing. The tune is so beautiful, and you've sung it amazingly. So it's definitely my favorite. But all the other songs are great.
I think all the compositions, you can't say one's weaker than the other or anything. I think they're all on a good level, so you can listen to this album start to finish without feeling there's been a drop or anything like that.
It's consistent.
It's very consistent in terms of words, singing, tune, and production, I feel.
Amazing. And we started working on this over 2 years ago.
That's right,
which is crazy.
Yes.
A lot of love, energy, creativity has been poured into it.
Whilst it's like I said, when it started, there's been a lot of milestones in my personal life as well. And it just seems so long ago now when I started composing the tunes. I got the brief. Bhavik goes, I want to do now. You got to write the tunes as well. Yeah. So I then obviously go into this into a zone. You have to go into a zone.
Yeah.
And you got this in your back of your head, right? I got to start composing. I got to start. But a lot of my work gets done. The initial is the tune. It's not about production or anything. It's the tune, the composition, creating the tune, and that can happen whilst you're not on an instrument. This can happen while you're walking or whatever. And I sort of went away to Devon. Me and my wife.
I remember, yes.
In April 2022, it was Angie's birthday, and obviously she was pregnant at the same time as well with my little one. So from being pregnant, the first, when you get the news you're having a baby, to now where my daughter is now 17 months, this album, Summer, has been on that journey process, So that's why that's something special to me.
Yeah, and during this process, what's been your favorite moment? What are you most proud of with this whole project?
If I have to think about it, it's always creating the tunes.
Yeah.
It takes me back to when I went away with Ange.
Yeah.
It was in Devon, and it's the creative process of creating the tune. And obviously, when you work on this, it's not like you have. I know you wanted 7 songs, or the brief was pretty clear. But you tend to work on 14, 15 to 20 tunes, and then this is how the process works. And that process for me is always the best.
Really?
More than the production, I think, because that's just something I feel is it's just special to me.
Yeah.
Creating something, a tune. What people are going to sing, people are going to hum. I've worked on various projects in theatre as well. So that always, for me, is the most special point, that someone is singing something that's just been born out of thin air. And that happens only when, say, you're walking, or you could be brushing your teeth, it could be the shower, it could be driving, and it just comes and you quickly record it into your phone.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, that's the birth of the song, I feel. And that's the most special part for me.
If I may just catch on that same thread, for me, it's actually when it all comes together, right? You know, like coming and visiting the studio when you were recording, when the music, the arrangement, your voice, you know, the amazing tune and my words, it all coming together. That's such a fantastic feeling, you know, listening all of that in the finished song, if you like, almost finished song in that studio situation. Yes.
Well, it's been a real pleasure, a real journey over the last 2 years. I look forward to what you both have coming out next, and hopefully working on something else.
Absolutely.
Really, really soon.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
What a journey.
Thank you.
It's been brilliant.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us here today with Kaykay, Chauhan and Ajay, Chandran. It's been a roller coaster of a 2-year journey. It's been a fun project to work on. We can't wait to hear what you think. 𝗟𝗵 is now available on all major streaming platforms, including YouTube. So please listen to it. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know which one's your favorite bhajan, which one you connected with the most. And we can't wait to hear from you.